Hi, it's Fountain, and today I'm going to talk about two things that my parents unintentionally taught me. And I just thought it'd be a really nice sort of vlog of like appreciation for them, and also it's interesting how sometimes like your parents can be really good at things, and that can provide a really good mirror for you. But also it's interesting how sometimes they can be not good at things and also provide that mirror for you as well of some things that you're like, oh, yeah, that's a really good lesson to have learned or to be learning through that relationship, like with your parents. So the first one I want to talk about is letting go. And sometimes when you hold expectations, obviously, about a particular person or an outcome, it can cause quite unhealthy patterns. And you know, it's good to remember to let go doesn't necessarily mean to get rid of something. To let go can sometimes just be to let it be, if that makes sense. And I know sometimes we want to change a situation, we want to take control of a situation, but what may actually need to happen is just changing your perspective and becoming more resilient to obviously change through that way can bring more like peace and love into your life. And I do understand there's a fine line of action, of like actually, okay, I do need to change the situation and doing that. But there's also the other part of it is just to let it be and change your perspective on what that experience is providing you. And the second one that I want to talk about is you have absolute responsibility for your life. I understand it's a little bit different, like when you're younger and you rely on your parents. Excuse me, I'm just getting bitten by some ants. You rely on your parents, obviously, to provide you with your essential needs, right? You know, that may not necessarily be your biological parent, but you're relying on others to make sure your basic needs are met around, you know, food and shelter and all of that sort of stuff, right? But, you know, as you get older, things do kind of change. And, you know, some people say that you kind of choose your parents before you come into this earthly plane. And if that is the case, then obviously you've chosen them because you want to learn like particular lessons through them. And now I understand like sometimes we can be subject to some reasonably unhealthy, you know, family environments, and you know, it can be really hard to get out of some of those situations. But you know, once you've left the family home as such, it's really our own responsibility to choose how we want to react, and or hopefully not react, but how we want to respond to maybe that situation or that unhealthy pattern. And it's also our responsibility to choose what we want to do about it going forward, right? You know, and continually blaming kind of keeps you in that victim mentality. And you know, this is not to disregard, like, you know, if there's emotions around things, you need to process that, right? But the next step is to obviously step out of that victim mentality and to take the responsibility. And you know, I guess to provide an example, say there's something happening that's or happened or been happening in the family environment that you don't want. What you really probably want to be focusing on is, okay, so I don't want that thing, so what do I intentionally do want instead? Where do I want to put my intention in the sense of what I do want to create, because I know of something that I don't really want. And obviously it's probably more important to manifest that from here, or have the intention from here being the heart space, than the head space. And I guess an example of that is if someone was desiring maybe a particular car because, I don't know, it's a particular make, or they want a new thing or something rather. If you just dive a little bit deeper, you obviously find that there's actually what they are desiring is more of a feeling that they think that they will get from getting that car or being seen with that car or some kind of activity with that car. Whereas probably just better to manifest that kind of emotion that you want. And if the car comes, cool, or whatever else, you know, sometimes when you're more in the intention of a particular emotion that you'd like to create, it can open you up to more things that you can manifest that you potentially didn't even think were possible. Okay, I digress a little bit, but I guess what I'm saying there is like, what you want to create, someone else can't really create that for you. You kind of have to create that inside yourself, and then the outside environment will reflect that, and they can reflect that in many different ways, and that's your responsibility to do that. It's not really someone else's responsibility to manifest and intentionally create the emotions that you want and the life that you want. So yeah, I think it's probably a good point to put in like a, you know, one of those sort of Carl Jung quotes. And, you know, one of the ones he says is, you know, I'm not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. So I feel that's probably quite a good quote to end on. And yeah, let me know if you can think of some things that you feel your parents have like intentionally or unintentionally taught you, you know, when you were growing up, and through the behaviours and the relationship with them. And yeah, you can really heal a lot of things when you can start to understand more about like your family dynamic and family members with the way that they are. And like, I'm no perfect princess, that's for sure. I don't even like to use the word princess. I'm no perfect queen, for sure. But I know for myself, the more work that I do around my relationship with my family, the more I find, another wee ant, the more I find that I can heal things and be in a better place, and also be in a better place for them too. So yeah, leave your comments in the comment section down below. You can like and subscribe. You can also find me in other various social media platforms in the description box down below, and I will see you in the next vlog.